Hey guys, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. I want to hit you guys with a quick educational video, and in this video I just want to talk about when does it make sense to chase a stock. Now, you always hear, don't chase, don't do this, blah, 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 but there are situations where it makes sense to chase where you can actually make quite a bit of money. I'm going to give you two examples from today, one to the upside and one to the downside. Concept's going to be the same on both. When does it make sense to chase? Well, today NVX was selling off and we ended up grabbing it when it was extended to the downside. What I was looking for and why we grabbed it on a chase to the downside was for two reasons. First and foremost, the relative volume to the downside was robust. There was clearly someone liquidating the stock, an institution, fund, doesn't matter. And the second reason was it had enough room from a risk reward perspective to make sense to take that trade based off of whatever the setup was at that point. Now, the setup in this case was it broke daily EMA support, had room to the 50 EMA. In this case, the risk reward, which was typically, well, let's call it from an equity standpoint. Let's say you're risking $1 and you have about 4 points of room to the downside. Risking $1 to make 4 points is a 3-to-1 risk reward or higher, and that would qualify as a good trade setup. Now, only makes sense to chase, guys, if you have that type of setup where there's usually a lot of momentum one direction and that risk reward makes sense. If both those things are check marked, then feel free to chase those stocks. Your criteria for that trade setup is actually good. Now, another example would be this GME today. GME was breaking out from last day's high. We ended up grabbing this long at 143 and playing it into the 151 area. Same concept, a lot of volume behind it, tons of relative strength, and it had that room from a risk reward perspective to make sense to actually chase the stock. Now, when does it make sense not to chase the stock? Well, if that risk reward doesn't make sense. If I'm grabbing GME, let's say, let's say I was going to grab GME and the stock was at 147 and this next resistance level is at 148.39. Well, I'm risking, let's say, 2 points to make $1 to the upside. That's a 0.5 risk reward. Does that make sense? No, it's not a skewed risk reward in your favor. The setup may look good. There may be volume behind it, but it doesn't have enough room to the upside for it to be a high quality or a quality setup. In that case, it doesn't make sense to chase. Don't chase. Just let it be and find another trade. Anyways, guys, just a quick little tidbit for you there. I think, there's certainly opportunities where it makes sense to chase. It's not always bad to do so if the risk reward makes sense and the setup also makes sense as well. Thanks for watching, guys. You can go to SpartanTrading.com. If you have any questions, join us there. Free Discord link in the bio as well. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next week.